Welcome to the party, pals. I am Droid, and I got a question for you. What do you think about AI's place in music? Because today on Droid's World, I'm going to find out what I think. I started working on this video yesterday. Didn't go too well. So one thing's for certain, before we get anything going, I'm going to need some coffee. So enjoy this footage that goes splendidly. Absolutely no disasters. Almost lost a digit. My favorite one too. But it's still intact. And we're adequately fired up. Let's get started talking about the topic at hand. So first off, what my plans were for this video, I thought it would either be amazing, it would blow me away, almost like that cup of Moka pot, espresso, coffee, whatever you want to call it. Either that or I would have a good laugh and we would realize that AI is not for me. However, neither of those happened, and what happened is a damn near exploded my computer. The artificial intelligence of IK Multimedia's ReSing surpassed the limitations, and I had to adapt and overcome. So what I did was I took my brand new song, Older Than Today, available on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, etc. under JROID, JROID, Shameless Plug. The first test of ReSing is going to be replacing it with Jenny here. Isn't she spectacular? Now with ReSing, I will say, it took up a tremendous amount of hard drive space, CPU usage. Now I'm no computer brain, but I think those are the correct terminologies. When you start ReSing up, it has to contact the AI or some shit like that. I don't really know. I don't know how AI works. I've said it to other people. I'm too dumb for AI. I'm gonna get left in the dust. But I thought IK Multimedia would make it nice and simple for old Droiderino. I guess not. So you gotta wait for it to do whatever that it's doing. It takes a while. It says seconds. It's more like tens of seconds, I guess. Once it does that, you got all these settings. It took me a while to figure out most of them, but eventually I figured it out. And if you want to hear a little sample Rooski before you render it or whatever, you can hit the little preview button. Let's test that out now. Now this takes about, 30 seconds to a minute. Not very quick. Kind of frustrating if you want to try out different settings. But this is probably just my computer. I don't know. Once I found something I liked after several failures, realizing I needed to raise the pitch so old Jenny here didn't sound all down low. Suffering inside again. We got her raised up an octave. Suffering inside again. Let's hear what that sounds like in the song. Now this is somewhat impressive to me. However, she sounded a little shaky. We know she's a big fan of Droid. Maybe she was a bit nervous singing my song, but I kept playing around with some settings, some auto-tune. Didn't really care for any of that. Changed the way she talks. I don't know, energetic. They got all these settings. None of them were spectacular. That's the bottom line. Check it out. She sounds kind of like she's trying to imitate my accent. Even though I made it the model accent and not mine, she still was trying to imitate me. What you gonna do about it, brother? So then next up I came up with the idea of a little duet with Jenny and myself. Let's hear what that sounds like, shall we? Suffering inside again. It's pulling me up, but I can't live from them. Fly with a broken wing, singing words I cannot say, not to take. Isn't that special? A little droid AI Jenny duet, but not something that could be used in a song, in my opinion. Maybe that's just my voice that didn't jive perfectly with it and I gotta clean it up a bit. I don't know. I wasn't really planning on using it anyways. This was just for a fun video. Now let's get into some real shenanigans. They've got, as part of the ReSing free, you can have Jenny, you can have some guy, I don't know, he looked like a fucking asshole, so I didn't even bother downloading him. A slop in the bass man, didn't bother download that one, but very interesting to me and something I actually thought I might use, a saxophone. So I downloaded that loaded it up, another 5 to 20 hours. Let's hear what this sounds like. Brace yourself. was a little strange, wasn't it? It kind of just sounded like they EQ'd me. You could still kind of hear the words. I mean, it was like a saxophone could talk. I don't know, it was weird. I mean, it was entertaining, right? Again, I was kind of disappointed in this one. I thought for sure I actually might use this in a song, you know, for some Tim Capella type stuff. I've always secretly wanted to put a saxophone solo. Now, I tried this on the guitar solo section of the song. It did not work at all. You would think a guitar into a saxophone would be a pretty easy transition. Apparently not for IK Multimedia ReSing artificial intelligence guy. So that was a complete failure. I'm not even going to play it for you. It was horrendous. That would have been pretty cool though if that worked. But yeah, so this, how it worked out, not something I'd use in a song again. I'd be more likely to buy a saxophone. Speaking of which, do they sell cheap saxophones on Amazon? I gotta look that up. Maybe I can get a Chaxophone, a Chinese sax, $89 on Amazon. You think they got that? We'll have to look into it. And you'll see me learning to play the sax here. Fun fact, when I was a young droid, I briefly played the saxophone, yeah. So maybe we will bring that back. I don't know, we'll have to see. Let me know what you think of that. All in all, the IK Multimedia ReSing, I think, was a failure. I'm probably just going to uninstall it because, as I said, it takes up a tremendous amount of hard drive space, CPU, etc. And I mean, it was interesting to check out, but I will not be using it. This was originally going to be just a video on IK Multimedia ReSing, but due to the failures at hand, I decided to transition it into an episode of Droid's World, The Return. OG viewers may remember Droid's World. There were a multitude of episodes. I have since pulled them all from the channel. But we can't have a Droid's World without some Talkington opinion man. So what do I think of AI in music? There's no doubt about it. It's already here. Now, I personally am not an AI hater. I enjoy all the things people create with AI. I think it's pretty impressive. Perhaps working with AI is a talent in and of itself, and one that I do not possess. Maybe it's just that IK Multimedia ReSing is terrible, because I've seen videos, the Metallica AI, where they take 72 seasons, turn it into And Justice for All Metallica, or Ride the Lightning Metallica, self-titled Black Album Metallica, yeah, ooh! I've seen the Chester Bennington Linkin Park AI videos where they take the current album and put Chesterino on there. Rest in peace. Those are very cool. Randy Travis, what he and his team have done with AI, that's all pretty impressive. So I'm definitely not an AI hater. Will I be using AI? I cannot definitively say no, but it's unlikely. For me, using AI defeats the purpose of why I make music. Songwriting is something I enjoy. I like writing the songs, putting them together, writing the lyrics, making the artwork, making the videos. Everything that I do, it's because I enjoy doing it. I don't do it for any other reason. And if I just had AI do all that, what exactly am I doing? So in that regard, no, I will not be using AI. But it's not because I dislike it or I want to fight against it. Always got Terminator 2 in my head. I am an ally and a friend of the AI. Let's make that clear, but will I be using it? Probably not. I would never say 100% because you never know what the future holds. Maybe one day I will put myself into AI and become AI, and I will cease to exist. But I think I have gone down this AI rabbit hole. Enough for now. That's where we're going to wrap this one up. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out my channel for more videos. And if you could be so kind, please check out my music on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, etc. under Droid, JROID. Linktree/Droid. Links are in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to do so. And as always, stay safe. Take care.